Hey!
Hey.
How's the boys?
What's happening?
How you doing, man? All right?
All good, all good. How are you?
Very well, man. It's all bizarre, this is, isn't it? Bloody hell.
It is. Evening all.
What the?
All the Crow family, thanks for joining us. This is episode 4 of the CrowCast. You all right, Shane? You had a late night or something? What's going on there, boy?
Well, when I got the normal glasses on, but
Yeah.
well, you can see a bit there, look. That's all I can see. I've the glare off the screen, but
Are you well, Bet?
yeah, still taking over, but
Good, man.
I think madness is starting to set in, no?
Well, that's happened a long time ago, Shane, let's be honest.
It's a funny
Not
comment,
everyone knows.
China. Looking cool as a cucumber.
Yeah. How we been,
I
Lloyd?
didn't know cucumbers were
Yeah,
cool.
good. Not bad, man. Not bad. I hurt my back this week in the garden, but that don't keep me down.
Yeah. What are we doing in the garden, Bet?
Digging. I'm gonna put a retaining wall in to get a hot tub eventually.
Whee.
Oof. Oof.
Well, an inflatable one.
You blew up. What about you, Dave? What
Aye.
have you been up to, Dave? That's the best Dave has sounded.
Yep, Dave's on mute. Way.
Awesome.
Can you, Dave?
Awesome. Love it.
That's
Yeah,
how David should be. Seen but not heard.
So, hang on, boys. Hang on. I know we're getting to this a little bit earlier, but Oliver Mays just said, "Does Shiner have a shiner?"
Alright, but what just now, you cheeky twat? No.
That answers your question, but
Yeah.
It does.
Have we got audio yet, Dave?
No.
See, he should have stayed on, shouldn't he? He had
You had to walk our dog, but
he walked that dog and then he messed his microphone up. How was your weekend, Dave? Great? Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
Here
What
we
about
are.
you, Ron? How's your week been, bud?
I was all right. It was quite a quick week this week. I know I said that last week, but it was quite a quick week. Same as Lloyd, same as you, probably half the country, doing a lot of garden work. So yeah, I got a monster garden down the bottom that I haven't really paid much attention to.
Oh, yeah, I've seen her.
So now I'm gonna kind of see what I can do with it, like, you know. So digging all the brambles up, rearranging the stones. Here's Dave. Let's see what happens. There we are. Oh, he's messed up the formation now, Lloyd. He's messed up the
no, yeah,
formation.
don't worry. We'll sort it out. Don't worry.
But yeah, so
he's still not there.
just been tinkering down there. It's been nice. Boys come down. Nothing like a bit of good hard graft, like, you know, moving all the flagstones around and found a lot of Welsh slate out there. So it's been tidy, like, fair play.
Awesome.
What about you, Bert?
Just more strings to the bow, I guess. I'm turning into hairdresser. I'm painting rocks like B, our admin on a fan page. What's up, B? Painting rocks with the kids, painting woods, going down to the woods on our daily sort of walk, our exercise with the kids. It's kind of great to be outdoors, like, you know, for a bit. We're lucky where we are because there's nobody around. So we're very fortunate, like, but just really mundane, boring normally, but it's yeah.
Are you frighteningly? Are you settling into it? That's what I find. I'm kind of settling into a nice comfortable week now. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, I'll do a bit of work in the garden now. I've got into the studio, do a bit of drumming. Oh, I'll play a bit of COD with the boys. Do a bit of tea. I'm not even thinking the pressures of life, if that's mad. Like, do you know what I mean? You're in your little bubble, like, you know. So
yeah, you're right, but there's but I don't know. It's almost like I'm not motivating myself either. You get in that lull, and then it's kind of difficult to like be creative. You know, it's like your brain. I don't know. When it was more going on, it just came a lot quicker, like creating wise, music wise. It's just a bit there's no urgency, so there's no. I don't know. It's very strange, but
it's doing my head in. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm so used to like getting up, going to work, and do you know what I mean? And having a good day's graft. It's just smash my head against the wall now.
Yeah, up and at it, like, innit, fire out the gun. But there doesn't seem to be any sort of pressure or rush to do anything. And it's kind of, I think we're all a bit, take for granted then, the routine that most of us have kind of sets you on your way, doesn't it? You know what I mean? By midday, I'm like, I've done everything.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean, but I think we're lucky again, or it's like what you said, like literally a 2-minute walk up the road and I'm by the lakes. I got the forestry. I got football pitches all around us. It's exactly the same with you. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I don't know, you don't really appreciate what you have got around you because we're normally caught up in the rat race and everything. It's been lovely to get out and spend a bit of time walking up the mountain, or I know you've only got an hour, but you kind of make the most of that hour rather than, I'll go tomorrow or I'll go next week or whatever, or the weather's on, you know what I mean? You're proper getting out there and making the most of it, so same with the garden. I'm almost trying to incorporate that. I don't know if you're doing the same, Lloyd. You kind of incorporate that as part of your activity in the day, like.
Oh, absolutely. It's like I spend 2 hours in the garden. Like today now, I washed the car. That took an hour. Then I got the ladder out and I decided to wash all the windows, front and back, top and bottom. And then I was looking for. Then I went and watered the plants. And I was just like, it's still only like 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What else can I do?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of fixing a bench, Lloyd. A garden bench. Yeah.
That's
just because, there's nothing else to do.
Well, it's like everyone else out there, man. They probably only now getting around to finishing the shed they decided to build 4 years ago.
Well, I told you, didn't I? My boy re-hung my gate. I've been doing jobs I've been promising Claire for about 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, because you wake up and you're like, I will paint that hole. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, it's mad. Like,
have we got Dave back now?
Yeah, this.
You hear Dave? Dave.
No volume, Dave. Keep trying, buddy. Keep trying.
So that wine you've been drinking, Dave?
There's a question now. What are we drinking tonight?
Ooh.
What are you drinking?
Well, I'm sticking with the Penderyn Merlin.
Look at that glass.
I just had the same conversation with Claire, right? Let me tell you now, right? It's a Goblet of Doom. And when I said that to Claire,
one off Indiana Jones.
Exactly, Lloyd. Exactly, right? When I said that to Claire, I said, this is a Goblet of Doom. She was like, don't be stupid. You can't call that the Goblet of Doom. I was like, haven't you watched Indiana Jones? Things aren't what they always look like. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, Goblet of Doom, that is. Yeah, Brent. Nice bit of Welsh Baileys, basically.
All right.
What are you drinking, Bert?
I'm well, I've been drinking Southern Comfort, clearly, but I'm also I'm having a bit of San Miguel.
Ooh,
exotic.
Bit of Spanish.
Bit of Spanish, Bert.
Aye.
Yeah.
See.
You getting me now?
Yes. There he is.
The world is saved. Dave's back.
Going on? I switched to my phone now.
There we go.
There he is.
Yes. Right. We've had enough of you now, Dave. Ta-ra.
There he is.
It's probably not a bad thing you couldn't hear me, was it? Let's face it.
No. How was your week, Bert?
Yeah, good. Busy. What have I done? Went for a run. That was hard. I realised what a fat bastard I am now.
No, you're not.
I volunteered to in all this thing. I volunteered so I can. I just take phone calls for elderly people who are lonely. You can imagine that.
Oh, well done.
Can you imagine that? Get it on
cool.
Outstanding.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Good, that's brilliant. Can you imagine being an old person picking up the phone and I'm on the end of it?
It is
like, just end it for me now.
I hope they can hear you like we can now.
Yeah, but apart from that, just been
Hello? Who's still there? Anyway,
Mavis, it's me.
I like your
It's
fares,
me.
Dave. You win a fares there, but it's a good look.
you can still hear me though, can't you?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can hear
sorry.
you.
You win a fares. Look at your fares. You got to have, yeah. Do it.
Just like that. Just like that.
What are you drinking, Dave?
Oh, G&T today
Ooh.
because
That's
I'm a
a fancy
fat
glass as
fucker.
well.
So I thought all the red wine I'm drinking. I think it's giving me a bit of a sluggish gut. So I think
We were on about what we've been up to this week. Dave sent us a really cool photo today, which obviously it'd be rude not to check it out. Oh, he's gone now, look.
Oh, he's gone. Oh, he's gone.
Here he is. Here we are. Some people asked for some old photos of us, so I thought we'd start with Dave this week, which is there he is, boy.
Look at that.
Look at that. Jesus Christ.
God damn, cowboy.
Oof.
Yeah.
Look at that shit.
I tell you what. I'd go cowgirl on you.
Yeah.
How's it
Somebody
going,
punch
Dave?
the water hole.
Look at Lloyd.
When was that, Dave?
Hey, boo.
Dave, where's your sound, bud? Dave, where's your sound? No, he's gone. He's gone.
Gone again.
But
Probably
in,
for the
true,
best.
but in true tribute, we'll have to bring this back throughout the show.
There he is. Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you what.
Can you imagine Anna back in Bronco? Jesus Christ.
Dave, have you got a joke? No? This is going to go well when we come to his feature, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you know?
Did you know? Oh, bloody hell. So yeah, that was basically the weekend, yeah? Kind of a quick one.
Yeah.
That's good. What's everybody been watching?
Not a lot this week for me. It's I've been struggling. I did stick on an old school film last night called Gangs of New York.
Oh, yeah.
DiCaprio.
Yeah,
yeah, but it's like what Shane said. Normally, I can put something on like that and I can do work on the laptop. But I found I was doing work on the laptop and I kind of kept looking over old DiCaprio and I was like, oh, this is a great film. And then slowly you push away everything. And it's like you said, you lose focus, like, you know what I mean? Lose focus. But yeah, that was cool. No new series, so I welcome them. Oh, I did watch the new episode of Lion King. Is that it? Yeah. The Tiger King. That's the one.
Tiger King.
All right.
Oh, yeah. How far are you up to now?
I've done the whole series. A new episode dropped, so...
Did he?
Yeah.
Really?
It's just kind of a recap of where they were and what did they think of how big the series obviously become, like. Do you know what I mean? So
I'll have to have a look at that.
don't want to say too much because obviously a lot of people haven't watched it. If you haven't, I don't know why.
Fair.
You haven't seen it, have you?
I've seen the series, yeah, I've seen that, but I haven't seen that episode you're on about there now.
That guy's my hero.
Here we are. I've already made a blooper. It's not the Lion King, it's the Tiger King.
Yeah, don't watch that one, kids.
Yeah. Somebody's put up, which is great. Gangs of London. We found that around here. I don't know where around here it is, but it's Hopkins. That's in Wales.
Hey, happy birthday, dude! Stephen Hopkins, his birthday.
So they filmed Gangs of London around Wales. Tidy.
Yeah.
So have we got you back, Dave, or are you gone?
No, he's still gone.
I wonder if he can hear us.
Can you hear us clearly? Excellent.
I can't hear you.
Why don't you pull the headphones out?
Oh, there we are. Rob Evans didn't think much of my thing. I watched Tiger King, thought it was rubbish. It was rubbish, Rob. It was rubbish, but it was good rubbish. That's what I thought. It's something that you watch, you think, what the hell is this about? But you just keep watching it.
I thought it was
so bad.
fucking
You gotta keep watching it.
It's so bad, it's so good.
Yeah.
He is the most funniest guy I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Have we got any questions, Lloyd?
Yeah, we have. Aye.
Are these from last week, are they? Or?
These are some I found from last week.
Cool.
From Gordon MacDonald. What's your favourite 90s band? So,
Nirvana.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I want to say someone like Alice in Chains, who obviously around in the 90s. But yeah, definitely someone like Alice in Chains for me.
Very cool. Very cool.
It's got to be Nirvana, I think, for the top three. But they were just huge when they in school, just everywhere.
Yeah, I did a thing for somebody today, and they were asking me influences and stuff, and I found that I kept saying the same thing. Nirvana were massive, grunge exploded. Do you know what I mean? But it's what happened when we were young, wasn't it? It was like I just remember overnight everybody wanting to grow their hair.
Yeah,
it's like literally everyone growing their hair and wanted to get in a room and turn your amps up as loud as they could go, like, you know. So
yeah.
But
it would be
changed. Nothing's changed at all.
yeah.
It'd be Green Day and Pearl Jam then as well. I think.
Yeah, I mean, our tastes are so similar because we were all around the same point. It was like, for me, like having Ducky, Ducky as an album, that kind of introduced me to Green Day. Absolutely loved Ducky. Kind of went downhill a few albums after. But yeah, and then Pearl Jam, Mother Love Bone, Soundgarden. Yeah, man, you know what I mean?
Pete Williams just commented, 3 Colours Red, man.
Yes.
Oh, well,
yeah.
Forgot about them.
Yeah, 3 Colours Red. Good show, Pete.
Yep.
Yeah, just, bands of our era, like, you know what I mean? Tell Dave to write on paper what he wants to say. That would be brilliant. I guarantee he'll write it backwards.
Yeah.
I love you, Dave.
I wish I could help you, Dave.
Dave's in a strobe.
You can turn your light on and off as much as you want, but it ain't going to do nothing to your volume, is it?
How come Shina's volume has gone up and Dave's has gone down? That's what I want to know.
I've just noticed, but every now and again, I can see it in the corner of my interface. The preamp just goes wall up.
Ah, right, okay.
On the mic, so it's gone up now.
Yeah. You see, getting louder there now.
Yeah, I should be quieter now again.
Yeah, you are. Strange, very strange.
Yeah,
it's the Gremlins, boys. It's the Gremlins.
So I got a couple of birthdays. Yeah. One I just mentioned there now. Stephen Hoppy Hopkins is his birthday today. Brian Boyle, he's the Fireworks magazine right there. It's his birthday. Matthew Wood, that's Lloyd's brother.
Happy birthday, bro.
Matthew. And Mr. Danny Bowes of Thunder. Happy birthday, dude. Hey, can't wait to play that show with them in Thunder.
Yeah, we'll see you in November for that one, Danny.
Well,
yeah, it'll be first gig back now.
It will be. It's looking like it, isn't it?
Well, someone actually did say last week in one of the comments that the first gig back should be an arena gig. Maybe he's right.
Yeah. Bit of
maybe he's not.
Maybe.
We'll have to wait and see.
Who knows?
I see that earlier.
That's a good one by Mo.
Let's have some more questions, we.
Go on in, right?
Go on in, Lloyd.
I don't want to offend him if I got the name wrong, but I think it's Nerg Saivad. Sorry, bro, if I haven't said it right. But if you were granted superpowers, what would it be?
Oof.
Dave's getting his own back there.
Can you hear me?
Yay! Welcome, Dave. Welcome, Dave.
So, there you are, Dave. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Invisibility, so I could perv on women in showers. Next. I'm only joking.
Righty.
Yeah.
I can't follow. I go on, Shane.
I want them all. I got no particular favourite. I'm just having them all.
Yeah.
I'd want them all. Just one. That's all you got to pick. Just one.
Exactly, but one of everything.
I'd like to fly.
You'd like to fly?
Like a crow.
Shane?
To be honest, I was going to say Dave's, but not for the reason he said.
Oh, whatever.
Genuinely. I would
Because you would be a biology student or something like that, an anatomy student. Completely educational purposes.
You take your filth and you keep it in your own head, right?
All right, then, but I will.
No, yeah, invisible. I don't know. I think I'd be there. Or super strength. I want to be like a Hulk. Just smash everything. It's the best part in the Avengers. Where they just say Hulk, smash, and he just goes and smashes all those aliens on the building. I love her. And the best line in the Avengers film ever is when Captain America says to him, "It's time to get angry." That's the thing, Cap. I'm always angry. Oh, what a line. What a line. And he goes and destroys everything. Yeah. I've been watching all the Avengers movies on Disney Plus as well, so that's why I'm...
it's brilliant, that, isn't it?
Oh, love it.
I started watching loads of stuff on the National Geographic channel the other day. Do you see the Titanic one? The documentary they done on that, how the filmmakers of it, they've kind of gone back and reanalyzed everything like they did to work out like how like the timings, the life rafts dropped and stuff, and they kind of like admitted that with the technology they have now that they got it wrong back then.
All right.
So it's really interesting, well worth a watch.
Guys, I tell you what I watched this week. You'll blow your minds. I don't know if you watched it. Is it Contagion, that film?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, you've got to watch it. Some of the parallels and check it on. It's on Netflix, man. It's some of the parallels to what's going on now. It's almost
so you got Netflix back, have you?
Yeah, I got it back after that.
Oh, there we go. Put that foot down.
Yeah, exactly. If you want it, it'll blow your mind. Honestly, there's some bits in there that you'll just be like, "Wow, I think they knew what was going to happen." Like seriously, like it'll freak you out.
Wow.
Yeah, so watch it.
Very cool.
We missed your answer there, Ron. What was your superhero?
I can't really top Dave's, mate. It's just hard. Probably to mind read or something like that, like, you know. So
yeah.
I can't bloody top Dave's. It was great. That was Dave.
I wasn't joking, by the way.
Any other questions, Lloyd?
Yeah, it's one for you actually.
Cool.
From Nerg Sevad or whatever the hell is how you pronounce this. Sorry. Ronnie Uxford, is there a song that you detest that much you have to turn it off when it comes on the radio?
No, but I know Shane does. It's a weird thing.
I think we should all answer it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You all answer it. But for me, it's mad having so many mates who have that vibe. Like, I know you have, Shane, and I don't know if you have, boys, but I know Shane has, like, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, go on then. Go on then.
Nothing against Boy George and the Culture Club, right? But that one song, "Do You Really Want to Hurt?" Yeah, I do. I want to hurt you. I can't stand that song.
I knew you were going to say that.
Do you really want to hurt me? Every time I hear this, like, it's queuing me up. Yeah. Nothing against you, Boy George. Nothing against you and your career and your band. Karma Chameleon. That was an incredible track. But that song, I can't stand it. I'm sorry.
Any of you boys, or is there anything?
There's loads, but weirdly, nothing really springs to mind right now.
Shiner, Dave?
It wasn't listening to the question.
What's that, Shane?
Megadeth. I can't.
Can't do Megadeth, no?
No.
I got
Oof.
anything by Korn.
Anything by Korn?
Yeah, I just can't hack it. I fucking hate them.
Oof.
Honest, it's just weird.
I love the vibe, with the whole
yeah.
Like,
there's a couple I can't say on here.
Nothing against them or anything. I mean, they're fucking obviously incredibly amazing at what they do, and they're fucking huge. It's not for me.
So if a tour comes along now, when we're not.
We ain't fucking playing Korn, let me tell you. Oh, Boy George, after this. We're fucking
I was always a little bit like in the late 90s when Korn and Limp Bizkit and all that come out. I was like a proper like skater punk, and I was like, nah, man, can I do new metal? Nah. I was just like so dead against it. But I listen to it now, like Limp Bizkit, great, man, and Korn as well. They're really, really good. Like,
Yeah.
But like, that's having gone back after all that time,
Should we have one more question, Lloydo?
Right then. So, it's an interesting one, really. How about recording the Tramshed gig and putting it out as a live limited edition album? And that was from Mick Hampson, sorry. Now, do you mean live, like Thin Lizzy, live and dangerous?
What's live about that?
Yeah, I know.
Well,
look, it'd be cool to do, wouldn't it? I mean, but
Lloyd wasn't in with our in our last meeting with our manager, was he?
But I know about it.
There we go. So, what was the gentleman's name? Mark, was there?
Mick Hampson.
Mick, watch this space, Mick. We're seeing what we can do, and let's just see what we can do in the future. And there is definitely talk around it, so fingers crossed.
But we have got an interesting one here from Kevin Papworth Morgan.
All right, Kev.
Who's that voice? Do we know him?
I think it's a bit of a piss take, this, really, but it's quite funny because we know him.
That don't surprise
What books are you reading at the Mo? Aye. Well, I just read Des Lyman's biography, Kev.
Of course you did.
It's called Les Vegas.
It's a game of two halves.
Aye.
Devo?
I read Christopher Hitchens' God Is Not Great was the last book I read. It was a hell of a read. I didn't finish it. I got bored. And that was it.
I'm not really a book man. My wife reads enough. So, yeah, just pictures. Just pictures. Just never found a book that's like captivated me. I've tried it and... just not for me. I haven't got the attention, unfortunately, so China.
I'm still trying to get through how to correctly read the ABC from start to finish.
Oh, the dictionary. No.
Yeah, I'm still just the alphabet. I still can't get through it all in one go, mate.
Shane, you were a bit of a reader, or?
Not really. There's very few books I've read. But the ones I have really stayed with me, like Edgar Toll, Power of Now. Go and read that book, it'll change your life. The Secret is another change your life book. But apart from that, it was like when you were kids, of Mice and Men and stuff like that, books that kind of you had when you were kids, innit? But
Man, brilliant, man.
Yeah.
The pictures and them ones.
Animals of Farthing Wood, that was a good
one. No, but they do a film, Shine.
Oh, well, I'm good then. They do a film, I'm good.
That's brilliant. How about we do some competition?
Competition time.
Competition time.
Okay.
So
I don't remember what the prizes were.
What were the prizes like?
Say that again, bud.
If you'd like to show the lovely Crow family what the prizes are, what's at stake?
So it was not one, but two AAA passes from our headline show.
Okay, let's do that one first.
Let's do it.
We're going to pull out the name now from the bowl. This is everybody that subscribed to our YouTube channel. I looked then. I shouldn't have looked. I'm not looking. Look, there's nothing in my hand. Nothing in my hands. I'm going in. Here's the first one. And the first one goes to James Goldsmith.
Well done, James.
Well done, James.
You've got a AAA to an event that doesn't exist no longer. Yeah! Well, I thought we were going to split them, weren't we?
Okay, let's do that. So basically, we've got 3 winners tonight.
3 winners.
Oof, I love it.
God. It's like Castle Bingo. Right. Next one is Sharon Jenkins.
Way, well done, Sharon.
Hey, get in there, Sha.
That sounds Welsh, doesn't it? Sharon Jenkins.
Jenkins. She's got to be Welsh, surely.
And then we had the download set list from last year, yeah?
Yeah, it was the
You
original
mentioned download, it's a sore subject.
first show we played Who Did It on? Dave, for fuck's sake. First time we ever played Who Did It live. It was just, pretty much off the cuff, wasn't it, boys?
Yeah.
Chop, don't give a damn out last minute, just before we went on stage and opened to Who Did It. So yeah, the lucky winner will receive this.
If it's not Stewart, then he'd be tamping, right?
Yeah, he will. Yeah.
Here we go.
Sorry, Stu.
And it is Nick Davis.
Well, Nick.
Nice one, Nick. That's your
Congratulations, Nick. Nick, James, and Sharon. You've all won a prize.
Before we tell everybody what's up for grabs next week, I just had a sneaky picture off Derek saying a couple more people have sent in those eggs, the crow eggs. Oh, boys, the latest one. I don't know if Derek's watching this. He obviously is. The latest one is fab. Fair play. So maybe we can work with the fan page. I don't know how they're announcing it. I'm not sure what's going on there. But maybe I'll get some of the pictures of the Easter eggs when they did the boiled eggs, and we'll put them up next week. So we can see a lot of the entries, or maybe we can put the top 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
But the latest one is pretty cool. I'll send it over now after the CrowCast. You know?
Sweet.
We got to have a competition there now, me, for that. We got to give some away on me for that.
100%.
It's incredible, honestly. The latest one, there's a lot of effort gone into it. But next week, the kind Mr. Darren Griffiths has donated this beautiful. It's a signed print. It's 1 out of 5. So it's limited edition. He won't be doing any more. That's Darren Griffiths.
Oh, man, that's awesome, isn't it?
That's going to be available next week. He would like to give that away to someone in the NHS. He would. That's what he's asked.
It's amazing.
Okay, so how's about we've obviously got a bowl. I've still got all the NHS names in a bowl. If I quickly run through the names I got, if you don't hear your name, make sure you send your name. You have to be NHS worker. That's right. That's what he said. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything but NHS worker.
Okay. If you don't hear your name, if you can text us your name, you'll be added then to next week's competition. But currently, as we stand, these are the names we got in our pot. Shell Harris, Kelly Gray, Luby Lou, Helen Gibbs, Rachel Gilchrist, Catherine Bartlett, Helen Cullymore, Diane Roberts, Helen Roberts, Liz Townend, Catherine Ann Joins, James Smith, Rochelle Kemp, Cy Morgan, Carol Jenkinson, Mark Hunt, Karen Moore, Jan Gerard, Amy Rogers, Steve Dipper Lewis, Elaine Brand, Tony Francis, Jackie Spencer, Steve Parrish, Jamie Webb, Janet Page, Alison Millay, Ellie Hewitt, Jay Reese, Mark Adamson, Joy Callow, Debbie Corey, Philip Mark Mullen, John Reese, Catherine McCarthy, Ella Barrett, Janine Amanda, Lisa Marie Sanders, Bomsky, Lorraine Noble, Anne Darby, Lynette Stephen Davis, John Windsor, Andrea Batty, Sarah Seymour, Lorna Milner, Angela Gibson, Carl Healy, Jules Grumbo, Steve Dunbar, Florence Beatty, Julie Stewart, Nikki Pryke, Haley Garfield, David O'Neill, Davina Newman, Joe Wright, Haley Wrench, Helen Biggs, Jed Benson, Rob Wilkins, Caroline Richardson, Babs Floriot, I hope I said that right, Tracy Stevens, Lisa Callaghan, Catherine Weaver, Janice Harrison. Wow.
And breathe.
I reckon we should do that again.
Take a few seconds off that.
In the Crow family, innit? That's incredible. So
yes.
If you didn't hear your name, send us your name on the fan page. No.
Yeah.
On the fan page, and we'll add them into that list, ready for that immense photo of that print there. If you look at the top left, it's all signed as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's brilliant. I mean, I'm assuming
I would like it, please.
Yeah, we had one, didn't we?
And
I never had one.
yeah.
Must be
Put
me.
your foot there, bud.
Was I supposed to have had one?
No.
I'll tell you what, I'll take a screenshot of that if Darren don't mind, and I'll print it off.
Oh, it's that time.
I thought I was gonna change the theme tune this week because of the comments I've been having. So I'm gonna go with calling it "It's a Load of Bollocks." So it's a load of bollocks. A load of bollocks. A load of bollocks. Okay? It's just a load of bollocks. It's just a load of bollocks. It's all a load of bollocks. But my interest in load of bollocks this week is, did you know that Cleopatra lives closer in time to the landing on the moon than the pyramids of Gaza were built? Good, isn't it?
David, that's Giza, you maniac.
Sorry, yeah, Gaza's in Israel, isn't it?
Giza.
Giza. Fucking Giza, mate. It's in fucking Giza, you fucking twat. Hey, I tell you what, people are going to be telling all their mates all these little...
I reckon it is.
Well, they're going to be telling fucking lies then, aren't they?
Yeah, you're missing out here, Dave. You should be collecting these. They could be a book. We could put it on the merch.
I'm going to put a book together.
Little David's Did You Know colouring book with all your facts and shit, like, you know, little pictures.
Oh,
Do you remember that, actually? Yeah, I don't want to go off too much, but do you remember that we were playing Hard Rock Hell? Was it Hard Rock Hell? Or
what are you on about now?
It was just fucking funny. We were all sitting down having a meal.
Hard Rock Hell, yeah.
I think we were sitting down having a meal, and like a few people joined us to have the meal and stuff. I think, I can't remember who it was, but they basically sat down, and obviously to us, it's all natural. Like, so we're sitting around talking and whatever, and you could see they were kind of fucking fixated on Dave, who happened to have a kid's colouring book, and like
crayon.
The biggest decision was what colour do you do the bunny's ears, wasn't it, or something like that.
Yeah.
And he fucked it, didn't he?
Completely fucked it. I coloured it in wrong, and I couldn't go back then.
Yeah, but that's a genuine story. Like, we were on the road having a meal.
Didn't Kev buy? He still got it actually. He bought me a little kiddies T-shirt, didn't he, when we were on tour? Yes, he bought me a little kiddies T-shirt. I got it in the cupboard hanging up upstairs. Yeah, with a set of colouring pens. I've still got it upstairs.
Yeah, the colour of the T-shirt, yeah.
The T-shirt don't fit because I put on some weight now, but otherwise I'd be wearing it around.
So sorry, Dave. Cleopatra. She's closer to what?
When the moon landed in the 60s, the late 60s, she's close. She existed closer in time to that than the building of the Giza fucking pyramids, mate.
Right.
So yeah, you wouldn't have thought that, though, would you?
I'll just put bollocks.
Dave, do you know what? For once, I probably am going to agree with it and probably say you are right.
Cheers, Shane. Well, on my piece of paper, I write down what I'm going to say every week, and on my piece of paper it just says bollocks.
I haven't a fucking clue. I got to be honest. I haven't a clue. I haven't a clue.
Look it up, everyone. Look it up.
Right. Well, before the man loses patience, here we go, Shiner. It's your time, son.
He's got a hat on this week, so it looks a little bit like that.
Yeah,
Hey, Dave, that's why I've covered my eyes, man.
To hide the rage, is it, Shane?
Yeah.
Before you go, and we bring on Mr. Ryan Richards, what's your line, Shiner?
Well, my wine liner today is in for Stu Wenton's comment. I can see right on the side. So Stu has wrote, "The sun's gone down now, Shine. No need for the sunglasses." So Stu, now I've got my superpowers, but the sun has never gone down, and I'm off now, boys.
All right.
I thought he said the sun's never going to shine like an evil villain.
I think you're wicked.
Optimist me, but optimist.
Cheers, Shino.
Gentlemen,
See you.
Take it easy, bud.
Ta,
see
buddy.
you.
Shiner, buddy. Man. That was tidy, wasn't it? That was tidy.
Tidy, bud.
Before we bring in a guest, what about this little chestnut, Shane? Should we do something cool with this?
Look at that.
Oh,
That-
that's cool.
Look at that over there. That's a pebble rock that B, our admin on our fan page, has. Look at that. It's brilliant, isn't it? She's
Yeah.
done a lot for us, really, hasn't she? A lot of paintings on rocks. She sends us to us all the time. But it's what she does for a living, and as you can see, it's amazing. So that's going to be a competition. But we thought about doing a question now.
Yeah.
For one of you guys that wants to win it. So we'll ask the question. It's not an easy question. So, but we're going to pick the first one that says the right answer. So we'll ask the question now. We'll get Ryan on, and then we'll look back towards the end of the podcast.
I'll keep an eye on that then. Yeah.
And we'll announce the winner.
Mhm.
So the question is, who's going to do it?
What was David Reese Winchurch's first ever gig with those damn Crows?
Yes.
Ooh. So what was Dave's
This is-
first gig with the Crows?
Yeah, this was a bit of information that was floating about quite recently. So,
Oh, was it?
Right.
This is
Yeah.
now open field for anybody who's watching this. So literally the first person to get the answer right,
Let me get my fucking thing in now.
you will win this absolutely beautiful stone by B. There it is. And the answer will be revealed when we bring in out after our guest. Should we bring him in, boys?
Bring him in.
Aye, go on in. Bring him in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ryan Richards of Funeral for a Friend and Future History Management. There he is.
Hey.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
How are you, buddy?
What's happening?
I'm all right. I'm a bit sunburned, if I'm honest. I've been
Yeah.
out the back all day doing my
Oh,
work.
you got a sexy deep voice, haven't you?
Oh, hi.
Nice,
Yeah. Have you been doing some gardening as well, Bet? Or
No, I haven't. I'll be honest. I better give a shout out to my gardener, but yeah, old Mark Young.
Mark,
He's-
yeah.
he's a lovely
hey,
guy.
Mark Murray, boy?
He's been doing mine as well. I give him a
Does
shout
he?
out as well.
Ah,
Well,
there we are.
not recently. He did it last year though.
Yeah.
Bloody
He
hell,
And then
Dave.
my dog
put a little
fucking
tag
ruined
in there on with his website or whatnot.
You don't have to do it. I promise you I'll do that. Yeah. It's brilliant, that is. I love the fact
he
that
has
Dave
done a
jumped
smashing
in.
job on my garden, I'll be honest.
I love the fact that Dave jumped in and said, yeah, he's my gardener too. He did some work for me last year.
it. Well, he can't come
Oh,
in
yeah,
this
regular.
year, can he?
Bloody hell.
Class.
How's it going then?
How's things with you? All right? You all right?
Not bad. Sort of in the same position as you boys and a lot of musicians and people working in the music industry at the moment. Just trying to deal with all this madness, really, and I suppose all the cancellations, whether that be gigs or whether that be trying to get records out or trying to film music videos or whatnot. It's it's been a bit tough, but I suppose everyone's got to do what they can do, such as you boys doing stuff like this, and people keeping creative at home and writing and doing what they can. So yeah, just making sure that all my bands are doing that and trying. Well, we're trying to work out something with obviously Funeral were meant to be playing Download, which we were all super looking forward to, for a long time. But since that's not happening, we're gonna see what we can do and see if there's anything else we can conjure up to make it up to people. So we're working on that.
That's what I was going to say.
That's cool, man.
I was going to say it's been a crazy time because obviously you did the two shows, which we were grateful to do the London show with you in that beautiful venue, Shepherd's Bush. She did the two gigs, and then obviously everyone thought that was it. And then you were
we
announced
did.
Free, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's free, wasn't it?
three. Sorry, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hell.
Yeah, well, I mean, we thought it was it. Originally it was just going to be Cardiff. So that turned into two Cardiff. Added to London, and then that was it. Really, the end of the show. We were like, all right, that was great, brilliant. Enjoyed that, and then literally in the van on the way home, then we had Andy Coppin from Download. seen him on my phone. I was like, oh, what's going on there? And he's like, oh, sorry I couldn't make it last night, boys. You know, I heard it was great. What do you think of doing Download next year? So a few of the boys were in the band, so you know, turned my head, boys, Download, and you know, everyone was obviously super into it. So that was going to be that then, but no, you know, obviously things have happened, and that's not the case now. But I don't think we definitely wouldn't want to just leave things like that. You know, it's like, you know, we're not doing Download, so that's it. I think, you know, we'd try to work something out if we can.
That's really cool. That's really cool. And
That's
for those
exciting, man.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, obviously they know you're in Funeral for a Friend, but you've got your own management company, and you've got a load of bands on your roster as well. How's that been as well at the moment with everything that's kicking off? Because like some might not be on a cycle, some might have just released their album, some got an album coming out. It's crazy times, but isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, altogether, including Funeral, I had 5 bands on Download, so that particularly falling through was a really big thing. You know, I mean, obviously I was really looking forward to play, but there's 4 other bands that they're looking forward to play. As you say, one of them, Loathe, just released an album in February, exact same day as you boys, actually. Released their record. Another one of them then literally just got out of the studio 2 weeks ago, and then one is still in there now. So you know, we're getting things done. So it's affecting some bands more than others. Some are sort of getting on with it in the hope that everything will clear up by, I don't know, really. I mean, we're all speculating. I mean, you know, we were all hoping like, maybe June, maybe by the time Download comes around, everything will be all right. And it's like, obviously that's not going to be the case. And maybe July, maybe August, but I don't know. Who knows? You know, there's lots of different articles I'm sure you've seen going around the internet. You know, some of them saying, you know, there's not going to be any gigs until the end of 2021, which you know, hopefully that's not the case. But nobody knows at a minute, I suppose. You just gotta wait it out and try and be creative in the meantime. But that's what I'm hammering into all my bands, really, is making sure they're doing that, and obviously you guys are doing that as well. So what else can you do, really?
That's it. But the only saving grace is that we're all in the same boat, really. I mean, you know what I mean? It's not just like I was speaking to Dan today, and he was saying like it must be so frustrating for you boys. You can't go and, you know, really sell your album on tour and stuff. But it's like everybody's in that position, you know. So we're all starting again from scratch.
Well, that's it. I mean, I think you probably today due to be out in Europe, I suppose, you know, with massive wagons.
Yeah, I think about now. Yeah.
I think it was last week and this week we were due to be over there. And I'm in Nanty Mile.
I know. Yeah, well,
a little bit different.
Yeah, sucks for those boys as well, I suppose, because I think what was their album out like a few weeks ago. So yeah, it is frustrating when because you know what it's like. You've spent all that time writing the record and then sort of hold away in the studio, getting it perfect and going over the mix and the master and the artwork and everything else. And you're like, right.
Yeah, Joe Public, they don't see like the stuff that we to see and like view your management and stuff and the record label. They have all this plan set out for you months in ahead. And that work that's gone in for that schedule. And it's just like, nope.
This is it. I mean, that's the thing, you know, I've before this all happened, I had plans up until, you know, halfway through 2021 for some bands. And then when certain things go, you know, certain things in June, July, August, and, you know, the initial thought is like, don't worry, you put that back to January. But it's like, but no, we already had this in January, so we can't do that. And you're trying to sort of make all the pieces fit, and it's just too many of them, and it's something got to give. And that's the problem. And, you know, someone ends up losing out some, you know, you might have a European tour that you can't do then, or a UK tour, or you had some big festival, or, you know, you're going to go to America or whatever else. And it's difficult to fit it all back in. So there's going to be a lot of juggling things and trying to make it all work, which is the hardest part, really.
Yeah. So like, here's a question for you, Rico. I was, you know, being a drummer, Did you ever see yourself like? Was the goal always to be a manager, to be like behind the scenes, or has that just accidentally happened? How did you fall into it?
No, I mean, definitely growing up. I mean, the first thing I started playing piano when I was about 5 or 6, and I say piano. It was one of those. I got one of those guitars for Christmas, you know.
Trying to get Shane to get one of them.
Yeah, you want to get one of them.
Look great in one of them.
Yeah,
Chuck a shell suit on.
That's what I tell you what. I think it was Christmas 1985. I got a lovely photo of me with a guitar with a shell suit on.
Have you really?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll dig that out. Yeah,
ironically, you'd be trendy now if you did that. If you did it right now.
I know, trendsetter back in '85. But no, I did that, playing the piano until my first couple of bands. I was doing that, playing piano and keys, doing like Bon Jovi covers or whatever, and trying to November Rain, Guns N' Roses, and this that, and then one day then the drummer didn't turn up, and it was like, oh, let's do a couple, let's do Wherever I May Roam by Metallica. So I was like, I can do that one. It's just 4/4. We do some AC/DC stuff, and just jumped on, and I was like, oh, I like this a bit more than playing piano. Like, I can play all my actual favorite songs on this. So started like that, but then with the management thing, it was just one of those things where I'd been in the band for quite a long time at Funeral, and I just I kept seeing other bands that I liked, and I was like, oh, I'd like to help them. I'd like to take them on tour. I'd like to give them a bit of advice or introduce them to labels, and slowly then that turned into wanting to manage then, and getting the buzz for that then, and sort of what it turned into was getting the same buzz that I had when I had my first ever album came out, or first ever sellout show, or first ever time meeting Kerrang or Rock Sound or Metal Ammo or whatever. It was like when they had it, it was that buzz all over again, and it was all brand new again, and it was a really good feeling, and I still get that now with all of my bands. So it's I think that's what drew me to it.
What a quick question here, right? A lot of people won't realise that Colin Richardson, who did our last album, recorded your debut album with Funeral, didn't he?
He did, yeah. And the EP before it was one of those funny things, because we were, when we started, it is a real mishmash of styles. Some of us were into metal, and Matt was more like a sort of punk rock kid, and into folk stuff and different stuff like that, and melodic punk and whatnot. And the one thing we wanted for it to sound really, we got this album got to sound great. Chris is a real riffer. His favorite bands like Pantera, and so he was always having those riffs that Matt could sing over. So like, we need those riffs to really come out. And he was like, oh, what about the bloke who did Machine Head and Fear Factory and Leap on Death and all that? And Matt was a bit like, oh, I don't know, it's a bit heavy in it. And he's like, no, I think it'll be all right. We'll catch your vocals nice and make it sound nice and heavy. So we invited him down to Pontypridd to a rehearsal. And in those days we didn't have, I say in those days, I suppose it was 2002, we didn't all have mobile phones, and he didn't have one. So he said, I'll be coming into Pontypridd train station at this time. So none of us knew what we looked like, so we just expected him to be this sort of massive, bearded, tattoos. And are we standing there, and he's like, Ryan. Yeah, I'm calling.
Sounds like
Peter Kay.
Sounds like Brian Potter.
Brian Potter, yeah.
They're like, oh, bloody hell. All right, Carl, how's it going? And brilliant guy though. Yeah,
he's an amazing guy, isn't he?
What a guy.
Yeah.
And he's a genius when he's producing, man. He really is.
He is. He's just he's got such attention to detail. It's just incredible. His years are magic. It's so funny. I mean, I don't know how he does it, but he's got this real sense of everything being perfect. But then, he'll sort of play along to your songs or air drum. And he's got absolutely no rhythm at all, and he's just all over the shop. If one note is a little millisecond out, he'll spot it. But no, he's a brilliant mind. He's produced some of my favorite records of all time. Then that's the reason we went in with him. Really, is because we love him.
Awesome.
That's cool, man. I got a question for you, Ray. Going back to like when you were on about playing keys, how did the Ghost Lines job come about for you?
Yeah, well, when I joined Funeral, I'd been in another South Wales band. I suppose you'd call it a sort of hardcore metallic band called Honda McLean, and
Yeah.
What about Trip Cage?
and Trip Cage. Yeah, we had a
Trip Cage,
metal band going before. Yeah, that was good. We got close there to getting signed a few times with Trip Cage. Never quite happened. You know, we lost a couple of singers and whatnot, so it didn't quite happen. I joined Honda then, and then when I was in Funeral, then we took Honda on tour a lot, and then and we decided, oh, you know, it'd be cool to do sort of a mellow thing, something really different. So I was like, oh yeah, we'll try that, because Ben and Gav were with Honda, and then Gav, who later joined Funeral, they had some sort of acoustic ideas, and I was like, play some keys on that, chuck some sort of electronic beats and stuff like that down, and it was just something different to do. And then
I always remember coming to watch you guys play, and I thought it was completely different to what I'd ever known you to do. But I thought it was fucking brilliant, man. Like you had that song Acid.
Yeah,
that was Gab's song, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that experience. Yeah, he was telling me. I remember you had on a CD sampler, or was it on CROWS, where you did "Brave New World" by Maiden, like a really mellow version of it?
We did.
Yeah. I remember that.
It was a Maiden Heaven.
That's right. It was covers of Maiden songs. Yeah,
that was it. Yeah, it was a tribute CD, and I had toured with Funeral. We had toured with Maiden a year or two before, and perhaps a little bit longer. And it was just after Bruce and Adrian Smith rejoined the band. It was the record after we toured with them on the Dance of Death tour. And
right.
Yeah, and I believe Brave New World was the album before. I'm pretty sure it was. But they played that every night, and it was my favorite song of the set. You know, a really great song. And when it came out, I suggested, you know, I came up with like a piano version of it, and I said, oh, you know, why don't you have a try singing that there, Gav, you know, and Rich stuck a nice little bluesy solo on it, which he.
That's right, because he was playing guitar then, wasn't he?
Oh man, he's a good guitarist, isn't he? He's a good guitarist, good bass player. He's also don't know he's such a good guitarist.
I can recall saying to him, "Why did you go on to guitar?" He goes, "Well, I got fucking bored of bass."
He completed bass. That's what it was. He's like, right, I finished bass now.
Yeah,
he's completed bass.
So he mastered the guitar.
He did that. Yeah. He'll be on the drums next now. But he's great. Yeah, he loves busting out a nice little bluesy solo on the Strat and whatnot. So that was a lot of fun for him. So he enjoyed that. Yeah.
What was it like supporting Maiden for you, mate? Because obviously we'll speak to Moose down the line, and a lot of people know what it was like for them supporting them. But what was it like for you?
It's incredible. Honestly, I mean, it was one of those things where we had just signed to the same management company as Maiden a few months before, and it was actually, so Maiden's manager, Rod Smallwood, had come to see us. Well, he hadn't come to see us, actually. There was this thing called the Kerrang weekend that they used to have they used to have it in Canvas Sands down in, I don't know, it's a Butlins or something. It's a Butlins or Pontins, but there's a big festival in like a holiday camp. I suppose a bit like Hard Rock Hell or something like that. So they had that, and I think someone from Maiden's son's band was playing down there, I think was what it was, and they were perhaps on before us, and he watched us, and he really liked us, and he had a word with Craig Jennings, and it was working there. So, you know, you need to go and see these boys and sign them up, and then we were in the middle of we were recording with Colin then the first album, Casually Dressed, and we had just finished it and had mixes, and Rod gave it to Steve Harris. And really liked it. And he's like, and it was. But I remember this because it was on my birthday, and we went. They used in the management office. They had a bar there, and I went there, and Nico McBrain was like, "Oh, happy birthday, son! Welcome to the family," and all this and that. Nico, you know, he got his red wine, and
Nice.
after he went, then Rod came up and said, "Oh, you know, the boys are wondering if you fancy going on tour with them." I was like,
Oh man,
Go on,
"Like,
what an offer that is, isn't it? What an offer that is.
But no, they're absolutely brilliant. Though they were so good to us. I mean, first night of tour, we played this sort of arena in Germany, and after the show, then they were like, "Oh," Rod was like, "Right, come for dinner. You know, do you want to come for dinner, supper with the boys?" I'm like, yeah. So they basically closed down this whole, I think it was like an Italian restaurant, and it was completely closed. And it was just us on one side of the table, and I and Maiden on the other side of the table, just sort of, you know,
saying nothing.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
It was a Wayne's World sort of scenario, but
yeah.
But no, they were a real lesson in, I mean, how to perform on a big stage, you know, how to perform to a lot of people. And I remember one of the things Bruce saying is like, you know, always perform to the person at the very back of the room. You know, that's the person who should be in your mind. The fella standing right at the back by the bar. If he can't hear you, then you know you're wasting your time. And then the other thing then was sort of teaching us how to be respectful and look after support bands, really, because they didn't have to. You know, they never had to say anything to us, say hello to us or anything, but they went out of their way to take us under their wing and treat us well and make sure that, you know, there was none of this, like, you know, Maiden eats at this time and then it's your turn to eat. There was just, you know, all together at the same table,
awesome,
eating and everything. And
did you
the biggest bands in the world, like, you know, it's crazy.
Did you ever see Steve Harris play football, bet?
Well, there was a football about, yeah, because he's got a pitch in his garden by all accounts.
Yeah.
You get like a full-size pitch in his garden. Never got around to going around and having a game. But,
by all accounts, he's pretty good, and he's got his own team. And I just think the Crows could.
We're going to have him, but
yeah, we're going to have him.
We ain't.
We should.
have you heard the Crows got a tasty little team actually?
Yeah.
it's all right, honestly, but yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Well,
the Crows are ready, but just say the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, start some beef online now. Yeah.
Right there.
We would if the bugger's online, but he doesn't come online, does he? So anybody I meet who's got any connection with Harris, like our TM, he said, "Oh yeah, I was with Harris," or he knows somebody who's with Harris. And I went, the first thing I said was, "Tell him we'll take his football team." It wasn't, "Can we support Iron Maiden?" It was, "Tell him we'll take his football team." Any time, right? So
don't worry about tour. We just want a game of football.
fucking right.
Yeah. No,
what's one of the best tours you've done, then, bud? Is because I know obviously you've been everywhere in the world, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely one of them. That was definitely one of them. You know, one we'll always remember. I think one of the most surreal ones was we did this US tour, and it was a mental lineup. It was the Project Revolution tour, and it was Linkin Park's sort of amphitheater outside tour. I mean, it was Linkin Park. It was Korn were on it. Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Snoop Doggy Dogg, amazing.
No, Snoop Doggy Dogg was on it. With the Less Than Jake.
Cool.
Yeah, that was so just going around the summer on and seeing the way Snoop rolls and stuff like that. Well, seeing the way Korn rolls for that matter. Like, but no, there's another band as well who's definitely look after you is Linkin Park. They were quality. Chester was always really, really great and quality. And we ended up after that. Then we ended up going out and tour them in Europe as well. But they were really cool guys, really supportive. Yeah. They'd make sure that they'd come and watch you and everything like that, and sit down and chat with you. And really good bunch, Linkin Park.
You hear that about the big bands, don't you? They tend to be like that, don't they? From what I've heard, you know.
Well, this is it. Yeah,
they've got nothing to prove to anyone. They just, it's great.
There's that scale, I think. A lot of times, if it's a massive band, and I suppose, I don't know, they got nothing to prove to anyone. They're comfortable in their own skin. they're just great to you. It always seems to be that it's the ones that have got just a little sort of sniff of success or on their way up, or can be a bit I don't know, like backstabbing or whatever, or be a bit difficult. But luckily we never really encountered much of that, to be honest. I guess we were lucky, but yeah, I mean, Linkin Park were absolute quality.
Wow, good band as well.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
From a drummer's point, which album were you most comfortable? Which one did you like leave and do you know what I mean? Like, because we just did the latest album now, and I've never come out from recording a record where I felt so buzzed and just so in the zone, and happy with what I did. I think every other record before then, even when I finished my take, you want to go back in and re-record it, type of thing,
Yeah.
So, or you're listening to the fucking guitars, or the singers putting down the vocals. You think, oh, I should have put that beat instead of that one, or why did I go with that beat? Which one for you is like where you were really comfortable and you left there going, yeah, that's going to be a cracking album, that is?
Well, I think I had that same experience. Well, I had that same experience as you, because obviously we recorded with Colin as well, for the first record. So it was one of those where there was no stone unturned. You knew it was, he put you through the ringer, and make you do things over and over and change things. But as you come out today, yeah, I know that's perfect now. I know he's got the best out of me. It's spot on. So that was that. It was interesting. And when we did the third album, we did it with Gil Norton, who'd done like The Color and the Shape by the Foo Fighters, and some really good stuff from the Pixies and well, all sorts really. Some greats. He did probably my favorite Jimmy Eat World album, Futures. He had done that a little while before, but I'd gone in there, and I would tend to when we would go into the studio, how it is. I sort of give Zildjian a call and be like, oh, can you send me down a load of cymbals for me to try out during the session? And then I'd set up my kit, and I was just completely taking the piss. There was just cymbals everywhere, all over the place. And he came in and looked at me, and he's like, he's like, what's all this? I was like, oh, I'm just trying them out there. And he's like, right, all right. He didn't like it, but it was sort of first day on the job. Didn't want to say too much. It's like, right, okay. So I started playing through a song, and then I heard I got my headphones on, and I heard like a thump, something being sort of thrown down or whatever. I was like, oh, what have I done by now? And he marches in. I see him coming in the room towards me. I was like, I don't know, what have I done by now? So he comes up to me, takes the cymbal. It was a China cymbal. There's two of them. He rips them both off and just sort of chucks them to the side. And I'm sitting there like that, and he walks back in the room on the playback, and he's like, right, them Chinas are gone. If Dave Grohl don't fucking eat it, then you don't. I'm just like, all right. I can't really argue with that, I suppose. He's a hell of a boy, old Gil, yeah.
Yeah, he's got some great sounding albums though.
I thought Tales was a great record, dude. I honestly thought it was a really good record.
But it was different for us. We got to that point where we'd done the first two records, and everything was sort of going good, and we had toured so much on it and so hard everywhere. Literally hadn't stopped touring, and I think I was a bit burned out. And I think the thought of going back in and doing something similar, it was just like, just can't do it. And I think we all felt a bit like that. And it was one of those things, I suppose, where you're on tour. I don't know if it's the same with you, but I mean, we'd listen to anything other than anything that sounded like us. It got to that point because we were playing so much, and I suppose we were playing with bands in the same genre as us or whatnot. So we'd more likely be going on a bus and listen to the Genesis or Kansas or or whatever, and I'd be like, oh, I know, that'd be cool to. I'd love to write something like this, or listening to Boston, and like, oh, those are really. I love those little lead guitar harmonies and stuff like that. That's really wicked, and listening to concept albums and being, oh, that's really cool, and that'd be good stuff to do. And then that just ended up being the natural thing there, where it's like, can we do this? I mean, like, well, we are. We're doing it, so may as well roll with it, and then
do what's natural. Yeah, that's what you got to do.
Gil. Christ, you go mad if you hear me call him Jill.
Jill Norton, Graham Norton.
If you're wrapping that china around your head, right?
I know you will, yeah. Oh, naughty Jill, we used to call him. He didn't like that.
So what's those discs behind you, Ray?
What
we got?
I got a couple of. That's a Tails one up there. There's a couple casually dressed. There's a few up there. There's actually a Maiden Heaven one you talked about earlier. We've got a disc for that now.
Awesome.
Yeah, bits from the old pop chart as well. The old. I don't know if you've done that. Kept the old pop chart rundown frame there.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of them. So yeah, this is my sort of little office come memorabilia room. So
That's amazing.
yeah.
So looking back, do you see the future now solely management? I know like you're still doing stuff with funeral and stuff and that, but can you see yourself ever being in another band, or is that door closed? Is it just funeral and just sticking with the management, or?
As far as a touring band, yeah. That was one of the biggest things in terms of why I left the band in the first place. Really is that, you know, I'd had my daughter a couple of years before, and that was getting harder. Being the type of band we were, and how much we were touring, that got to be it. So that's what mainly took me off the road in the first place. And when I stopped being a funeral, you know, I've done some other things for fun, just because, you know, I still love making music. I still love playing. I don't play half as much as I used to, you know, not very much at all, really. But yeah, I was, when we announced the funeral show, you know, I won't lie, I was super nervous about it. I was like, Christ, I hadn't played a gig in about 9 years, something like that, almost, not far off. And I was like, Christ, you know, this. You know, I might get to the rehearsal room now, and there'd be things I can't do or I can't remember or can't quite work out. And luckily, it was one of those things we hadn't rehearsed until about 10 days or 2 weeks before we done that thing, because Matt lives in Germany and we wanted him to be there when we were doing everything, and it felt really good, and we really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it loads more than I thought I would. All the gigs, the rehearsals, and everything. So, I mean, I think to answer that, I do the odd one-off thing with funeral, but I can't see it. I think my touring days are over, put it that way.
Okay.
I got a question for you, buddy. Terry Date. How do I come about?
Terry, yeah.
I think he's awesome.
He's a superstar. I love him, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, another legendary
Is
producer.
he as aggressive as people say?
No. Super chilled out guy. Yeah, he'd sit there all day with his cans of Coors Light. Yeah, it's just a lovely mellow guy, and again, that was one of those things where, same as we'd done on the first record with Colin, it was like, right, you know, who's made our favorite albums, basically.
Yeah.
I know Chris's big thing was Pantera, and, you know, for other of us, it was, you know, Deftones or White Zombie or Incubus, or, you know, all different sort of things. And we were touring the States a lot at that time, and we were meeting different producers, and we'd sent a manager a wish list of different people, and we were playing. I can't remember where it was we were playing, but he'd sent us an email and said, "Oh, Terry Date's gonna pop down and watch you and have a chat." And we were like, "Christ,
cool.
Brilliant!" And so he came along. We got on really well, and we sent him the demos that we had, and he was into, and he's given really good feedback on them and everything else. And so we went with him, and it was a weird one, actually. We were meant to start recording, I think it was like first week of January 2005 it was, and
right.
I was on my way to, we were writing the album in a rehearsal studio in Cardiff, and I was driving in, and I had a phone call on my phone, and didn't have hands free then. And I had a thing on my phone, a text message, call me back. And he was our first drummer, Johnny Phillips, he's promoter with SJM. And I phoned him back. I was like, and this was about 9:30 in the morning. We were starting rehearsal at 10. And I was like, what's going on, man? He's like, oh mate, Dimebag Darrell's dead. I was like, you are? And he's like, yeah, someone's just killed Dimebag Darrell. I was like, nah, you're joking. He's like, honest man, it's on the news. It was just on now. And I was like, Christ. So I had a look and everything. And as I said earlier, Chris's favorite band is Pantera, and his favorite guitarist is Dimebag. So I walk in and I'm just shaking my head like that. And Chris is already in there before me. And he's like, oh, what's the matter, but I was like, it was almost like I was breaking news to someone that their family member had died or something. I was like, I said, have a sit down. And he's like, what's the matter? I was like, someone's killed Dimebag. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, no, someone's come in and killed Dimebag at a show last night. And he's just like, it was like, like someone in the family had died. And then what happened from then? Obviously, we were meant to go in with Terry then 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
And Terry and Dimebag were obviously massively close because they'd worked together. Terry's daughter is named after Rita Haney, Dimebag's long-term partner. So we had to put that back then for a few weeks because Dimebag's funeral and everything, and Terry had to go to Texas and everything. So he was like, you sure you're ready to, do you want a little bit longer? And he's like, no, it's fine. I'll go to the funeral and then come in. So it was one of those little, we sort of easing into it then. So we got in with him, recorded, didn't say anything for a while. And then somehow, Pantera came up. And from then, it was almost like, I don't know, a bit of therapy for him. He was just telling us Pantera stories every night and Dimebag stories and like us. So it was wild. And the song History, we hadn't written that song by the time that it ended up being one of the biggest singles from that album, one of our biggest songs, full stop. But we hadn't written that by the time we got in the studio, and Chris had been speaking. We'd been having one of those sort of chats with Terry about Dimebag and everything, and I think it got to Chris a bit, and he got a little bit upset, and he's like, I'm gonna go and play my guitar a minute, and he went and sat in the room, and I started playing sort of acoustic. And he started playing the chords to History, and I was like, that's really cool, that is, man. He's like, yeah. I was like, no, we should use that. And Terry, and he's like, that's really good, And then that's where History came from. Was basically the sound of History is basically the sound of how Chris felt in that moment. Talking about Dimebag, his favorite guitar.
That's incredible. That is incredible, dude.
Yeah. Pretty awesome. Yeah. But Terry was, again, fantastic. We loved working with him. He was fucking awesome. Yeah.
Next album, is it, boys?
I'd love to. He's definitely a name I'd love to potentially maybe work with. I think he does a great job.
The Deftones album in a minute, I've noticed. They've been posting pictures on social media with Terry. So I know he doesn't do that much anymore. But yeah, I've noticed they're in with him. So there we are. Yeah.
When you get back with the guys now, and you obviously play a gig, what song can you look down at the set and you're like, oh, here it comes? Is it History, or is it something else? Or
in a way it is, yeah.
Because with History, I know with the crowd are a massive thing about that. You can feel the goosebumps on your arm, so
yeah, you can. I mean, even more so with when we came back to do these gigs, because I don't know if people know, but we had stopped being a band a long time ago. I mean, 2016, what it was, and our mate Big Stu, who was is before Facebook and everything else, he created our first ever website for us off his own back, and started a fan forum then, which was, I suppose, the precursor to this, I suppose, to the sort of Goes Down Crows fan page on Facebook or wherever. We put that together. I mean, much like you've got your admin on your or wherever, he was that guy and was always that guy all the way through. And yeah, he got ill in last year with cancer, and we were like, oh, he's got 3 young kids, so he's like, we'll try and sort of do something for him. What can we do? Do a raffle, or auction off some FFAF memorabilia or whatever. And we decided, it's like, well, the best thing we can do really is and the way we can make most money as a fundraiser thing for him is to play a show. So we did that, but see, sadly, as it turned out, we had the shows announced and we were playing in October, but then he passed away in the August then. So when we played the shows, it was obviously, it was pretty overwhelming, especially with History then, and playing that song at the end and everyone sort of singing back and seeing his mother and father in the crowd and his 2 young sons, and that it always been that kind of overwhelming song, and really, like you say, Ron, one that sort of made the hairs on your arms stand up. But those particular nights, and particularly I think the 3rd night in London, where his 2 young sons were there, it was like it's just even that much more then. But yeah, that's always one that's fun. And I think when we play like one of the old songs, something like this year's Most Open Heartbreak, or heavier
tune, man.
Yeah.
Once he starts with that, once they get the old feedback comes in and the
riff.
Yeah,
that's right. You know what I mean? Because obviously you've been going for it for years. You've got albums under your belt and everything, and then you have a break away from the boys. You get in a practice room, and like we vibe in a practice room the same as you would. Like, you know what I mean? I think we all get a bit fucking buzzed up and that. But then when you get out to that crowd, it's just, there's always that tune. Like, I know it myself. Like, but problem is with us, we're still in that stage where you're writing new songs as well. So you're almost like, can't wait to put the new one in the set. That's fucking banger. That is, like, do you know what I mean?
And everyone's like, don't forget the good ones on the first album.
Exactly, man. But it's like when we did watch you in London, there's still so many songs you've left out, or you've put in as much of the classics as you can. Like, do you know what I mean? So,
well, that's the way. I think that's the way we took it with this one. It was like, right, let's try and, I don't know, try and approach it from the fan point of view, and just all the sort of the crowd pleasers, if you like, the heavy hitters or whatever, the ones that we thought everyone would like to hear. Because every time we'd ever toured before, I suppose we would be touring a particular album or new single might have just come out, or whatever it might be. So we're like, we gotta play a few from the new album, or we gotta play a few this and that. So this one was just right. Let's just pick the ones we think most people will want to hear, and end up being a pretty good set.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely.
He was incredible.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Have you got any questions, Lloyd?
To be honest, but I've been so indulged in the conversation, I haven't really looked. It's been this is from Mole.
Yes.
Ask Ryan what's the strangest thing he's ever had to wear in a video shoot.
A banana suit.
Oh yeah. Well, the banana. The banana suit was when we toured Brazil. Yeah, which was absolutely mental. I noticed Gav posted the video earlier from it, and we were on tour Brazil and driving through the rainforest, and they had one of those like a TV. So they had the TV in the back, little TV, but they had one in the front as well, right in front of the driver. So
all right,
they're watching, and it was I can't remember what shark film it was now, but it was some crap shark film, and the driver's driving through. And he's watching it at the same time, like he's watching this film, and he crashes basically into the side of the road, and we're there now, and we're right on this corner, so we have to jump out in case someone crashes into the back of us. But then the sort of Brazilian tour guide's like, right, well, whatever you do, don't walk out on the road because you'll get run over. I'm like, right, okay. He's like, if you stay here in this middle bit though, there's a chance that maybe, if someone comes off on the hard shoulder, they'll crash into the back of the van. It's like, right, all right, we'll walk up a bit. It's like, yeah, but you can't walk this way because that's the jungle and it's all like poisonous snakes and spiders by there. So you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, So we're waiting for it. It's going dark and Chris is losing his mind. And then we go, and it's mental. And we go to find this middle of nowhere. It's basically a big banana shack with about, 2,000 bananas hanging up in the middle of nowhere. And then randomly then we've got a banana suit with us then because we had Papworth teching for us, who's you guitar tech these days, and for some reason we decided the best way to warm up a Brazilian crowd was to dress Kevin Papworth up in a banana suit and mime along to Stevie Wonder's "I Just Called to Say I Love You." So I don't know where that came from, but that's what it was anyway. So then we obviously dressed up in the banana suit. I went to the banana stand, and it was a big old photo opportunity. But that was that. Yeah, but answer Mole's question, when we did Into Oblivion video, we recorded that in Pinewood, where they did Star Wars and bloody Indiana Jones and all that. And it was one of those stage sets where it was like, right, this video is going to be like you're in the middle of the ocean and there's all water and all this and that. You're like, all right, fair enough. But and then it's like, right, the water's going to be freezing cold. And we're like, hang on a minute, can it not be a little bit warm? And like, well, no, if it's warm, there's going to be steam coming off it, and then it's going to not look good, right? And we go up and it's absolutely freezing. So you're like, I can't do this, it's just too cold, like. And then they're like, oh, it's all right, we got wetsuits for you. So like, wetsuits? Yeah. So they'd given us wetsuits, so we had to wear underneath our clothes, t-shirts, we had shirts, like long sleeve shirts. So that was what we had for it, yeah, wetsuits underneath our clothes. It was absolutely freezing though, yeah. Good fun.
That's
like,
incredible, man.
You watch that video back and just absolutely die in there. I mean, it's fine. The body's all right, but yeah, it is absolutely freezing. You know what that is.
Didn't Chris have lots of trouble after his PRS?
Oh yeah, with all the water going in there, yeah, with his guitars. I mean, freezing cold water all day. And he was absolutely tamping. He's like, oh, I didn't fucking sign up for this.
Being grumpy.
I can imagine him saying that. Oh, brilliant, man, brilliant.
Before you go, but what's your thoughts on the footy season?
Thoughts on it? Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. I've almost forgot about it. It's almost like
I find that as well. Do you know what? I think we should all just forget about it. We should all just forget about this season, fuck it off, and start again next year. That's
whatever you mank.
I genuinely think that's a great idea, though. Fuck it off. Start again next year. Happy days.
I mean, to be honest, the thing that's upset me most is obviously the Euros,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I was they were selling the sticker albums you get for like the Euros, and I was thinking, oh, I might buy one of them. It might be worth something because it's the Euros that didn't happen. The Euros 2020.
Yeah.
Well, I got my ticket down there. I got the tickets for Rome. I was taking the buyout for his 16th. We're doing a gig in Bradford, which still hasn't been cancelled, funny enough. And we were going to do the gig in Bradford, and then I was going to meet up with John and Brody, fly out to Rome, go and watch Wales versus Italy. And then I had tickets for the quarters, the semis, because that's how confident I was. Like, do you know what I mean? But
yeah, do it all again, yeah.
But
that was the getting thing I was looking for. That I was going to go to Rome as well, and I was like, that'd have been fun. But as soon as I saw that Italy was the place that was being really hit badly, I was like, oh, that ain't going to happen now, is it? So I don't know. Give us an extra year to save up, I suppose, isn't it?
You boys heard what happened to Ryan's leg after the last Euros, didn't you?
Oh, God.
Hell. Do you know what? Me and Shed still go on about that day. Because obviously we did the first few matches. We didn't see you out there. Then we met up with you. I think the England game, you went out with Jennings and all of that, which I should have met up with you for that. Yeah, I should have met up with you for that, but we didn't. We went our separate ways, and then we started kind of meeting up again. And that bloody
Portugal game. We drove over for the Belgium game as well then.
That's it. Fucking hell, yeah. I forgot about that, right? Yeah. And we kind of went over, didn't we, with the head on of, you know what, we've had a great run, it's been fun and everything, and then we fucking smashed them. So
yeah. So that was it then on that day. It was like the only flight I could get was 5 o'clock in the morning to fly over to France. So me and Tuck from Bullet for My Valentine flew over. It was like this sort of charter from Cardiff, and then you land there, and it was 7:30 in the morning. It was blazing hot. So first thing everyone does is go to the bar in there. So
because we sent over the flight things, didn't we? Because we went on the same trip, didn't we? It was like
we were on the
later things.
Yeah.
Did you have the later one, or did we have the earlier? What was that?
I had the 5 o'clock one.
That's it. Yes.
Because we ended up on Sky Sports News in the morning.
Oh, but it was, boys, it was so bizarre. That whole trip was bizarre. So, like Ryan said, we make the big pact of, right, we'll all go over one last big jaunt together. So Ryan and Tucky went together, me and Shed went together, different flights. I had the worst end of that because Shed works with the aeroplanes. So all his flight, he was telling everybody we weren't going to fucking land. Because he was basically saying about the boats that were coming loose and stuff. then we land the other end, meet up with you. And Tucky's more of a rugby fan, and he's a full-on rugby boy. Like,
yeah.
So he's talking to us about football and stuff like that. But at the same point, I must add, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's genuinely as if we've just met up after a gig. Because there's fucking Jaeger going, there's IPA. This is at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then the next thing you know, I turn round, and Tucky's on fucking, was it Sky Sports, wasn't it? So we just had a conversation with him, and he was saying, yeah, who's performing well and everything like that. We were on about it, yeah, wicked and all that. And then Shed was saying about Vokes and how he's his favourite. Next thing you know, Sky rock up, and Tucky's on it like a pundit, fucking bollocks, like, do you know what I mean? But yeah, it was amazing.
Well, that's it. I mean, I fell over after on the way to the show and broke my bloody foot in so many places. And
when we left you on that boat, no, honestly, now, because yet again we went drinking on this boat. We didn't eat all day, did we? We were just catching up. We were drinking all day, and this is like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. The match hadn't even started yet, and like I said, Matt keeps coming over with bloody trays of Jaeger. So he thinks it's like an after-show party. We're slamming down the Jaeger. There's a video the Shed's got of me that my missus and the kids seen as well, where I've spent 10 minutes after leaving you trying to climb a 2-foot wall. It's as if this wall is like, it's fucking massive, but I'm trying to climb it, like, you know. And do you remember there's like a crocodile on the boat? Did you see that stuffed crocodile?
Oh, I don't know.
I was sending some random pictures of that day, but because I couldn't remember him until Shed's trying to explain how I climbed through a cage and tried, because I was smoking back then, I was trying to give a crocodile a cigarette. I sent that to the wife. She was like, oh, fuck it. Yeah. And then I find out from you the next day, what did you break?
So I broke my ankle. I broke 2 of my toes. I did the ligaments. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah,
that was fucking good going, dude.
I was on the sofa for 2.5 months. I know.
Living the dream, that is.
the old summer was gone. Like, I mean, knocked out the tournament, and then so I had to get taken back to the airplane on a wheelchair and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just had images of you, Ryan. A bit like you're like that episode of The Simpsons where Bart's broken his leg and he's like peering out the window like everywhere.
That was me.
Well, all I remember about our flight, because I think yet again we went on different planes, different times. But all I remember about our flight on the way home was we were delayed. I went a kip. I woke up, and this is where Shane gets frustrated because I'll go to sleep anyway. So I've gone to sleep. Apparently, it's all kicked off when I've been a kip. I've woke up, gone, that was a quick flight. And Shed went, we haven't even taken off, you prick. You've had a good fucking sleep. We've been here for 2 hours. And there's a guy who fucking died on your feet, right by your feet, but they were bringing him back to life. And you didn't even blink. He said you just stand at shit.
I'll sleep anyway. I will. I'm the worst for it, honest now. Yeah.
You admire it, don't you? But it's one thing.
But you learn it, don't you? For, being on a touring band, you learn just to get your kip in where you can.
You don't learn it at all. I've been trying all my life.
Get the most comfy cushions you want. You know the ones you put around your neck? Get them in WH Smith or something?
Yeah. I'll try, but honestly...
You don't learn it at all. I've been trying all my life, man.
It was brilliant when we were on the road. Me, him, and Dave were sleeping in the same room. So David was down the bottom, and he used to pull his bed further away from me, so he can't fucking hear me snoring. And then I'd just be dozing off, and Shane going, Oxford, are you sleeping? I was just about to. Don't you fucking go to sleep yet? Don't you go to sleep yet? This is brilliant. It's almost like
Ronnie's snoring on the one side, Dave's snoring on the other, and I'm just cuddling a pillow like a.
I remember I was on the stone broken to her, man. I lost my shit with Matt. I fucking smacked. He snored. We were about 4 or 5 nights in, and I hadn't slept. Because he's snoring all night. And in the end, I jumped out of bed. I grabbed the fucking TV remote and I go, and he stopped.
I'm all right. I'll sleep through anything, me. So
yeah.
Skill, man.
I'm the same in the van, man. I'll get in the van. I'll say to the boys, "Hey, how's things, man? Everyone all right? Yeah, we're fucking gone. Fucking gone. Like,
must be a drummer thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's calming, but well, thanks for coming on, but because I know time's getting on and everything. We know you're busy, and we'll have to get you on further down the line when everything kind of calms down and football comes back and all the bands are up and running. You can come back on and tell us like the second math of how you got everybody back on the fucking road. Like
that's it. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Before you go, anything you want to plug? But any socials?
Yeah, if you want to check out any of the bands, go to futurehistory.management. And then follow the Funeral for a Friend socials. We'll try and do something for everyone who's missed out on download if we can.
Awesome.
Thanks, Thanks, Roy.
Thanks for joining us, Ryan.
We'll speak to you soon.
Stay safe, buddy. Stay safe.
Good chaps.
Take care, Ryan.
Bye, man.
That was brilliant. That was awesome. Man. The thing is, I could talk to him for hours, but like he said to me, he's been so fucking busy lately. He's not used to having like proper late nights and everything. So
you could talk to anyone for hours, but
the thing is, there's loads. No, but there's loads like with Ryan. There's loads we could have talked about and everything. Do you know what I mean? Like I was going to ask him about the fucking they won the Kerrang Awards. You know what I mean? I had him all queued up, but it's the same as you, Lloyd. When he starts talking, even though like some of the stuff we've known him and we've had a beer with him, you just want to hear it. Like, do you know what I mean? It's
absolutely, man.
What I like about his voice sounds like he sounds like a bit of a weatherman or a newsreader, doesn't he? It's just like a really good voice to listen to. Like you should do audiobooks. There we are, Ryan. Audiobooks, but there's an earn a few.
I love there's a comment here from Rob Evans. Ronnie, your language gets worse the longer the cast goes on.
Yeah.
It's true, Rob.
Well, the thing is, Rob, and this is the God's honest truth. I spoke to Shane last week, and he'll tell you this. I went, CrowCast went all right, didn't it? But I said, I was a little bit annoyed with myself. I found I swore a lot last week. This week, I've been really conscious of it. I'm thinking, right, don't drop an F-bomb. And then one slips. I'm like, okay, there's one. Give me one, that's fine. And then the last 20 minutes, I just,
Yeah, as soon as you started talking about football and
Heroes,
then it all went, fuck it.
It's a Saturday night downtown, then, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean?
On the Yeg, like.
On the Yeg, like. Hey, when life's worse, all you need is this, bud.
Hey, cowboy.
Hey, bad touch.
Hey, hang on. Go back to that photo, Ron. Just noticed something. Is that somebody else next to you, or is that you?
No, it was. I tell you what, I'll explain the photo, right?
Please.
I got a WhatsApp group with the boys I used to play in a band with, and we were like, "Oh, we still got our own video."
Joe Walsh.
The dog's running around like a fucking nutter in the back. And we got an old video that we did, so we discovered it, and I just took a snapshot from it, and that's the video, and it was done in like stop motion, like they do animation.
All right.
And that's probably in between two cuts, like, so that's probably just two images. But I was just explaining that all the sort of cowboy hats and flowery shirts and stuff, that was done years ago, guys. So
I don't know, that orange shirt is
I know. I wrote down here, guys. I wrote down the person that answered that question first.
Hang on.
Oh
yeah. But I hope it's the same one I got, because to me,
well, we'll find out, won't we?
Because there was a lot of people that were staying in the area, but not necessarily the place.
Right, okay. I got the area, not the place. So you've probably got the
you
specific place.
you can't just say Camden, can you? Because Camden,
Okay,
there's places in Camden.
All right,
You'd have to be the venue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rio.
Yeah,
was the
I
gig?
saw that one. Yeah, I know. I saw that one. You know, I just had Camden, but I did see it, but I didn't take the name down for that.
I got the name.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so the winner of, hang on, let's bring it up again. Oh, not that one. That one.
Could win the Kerrang Award.
Fuck that, didn't I? There we are. There's another one.
Let's talk, boys. Don't get. You gotta do an album. No, you don't. Just gotta win a competition on CrowCast.
It is, isn't it? Fucking hell.
Isn't it one? Fucking hell.
Great job.
Be the new drinking game now, wouldn't it?
So the winner for me, the first one I saw, boys, was Chris Roger Edward. He was the first one I saw on here that said the underworld.
Boom.
Well, there we are. Then. So it's him.
Gentlemen.
It was. Yeah. So I'll explain that. That was my first CROWS gig, 2005. The Underworld. It was October. It was October or beginning of November.
October. It was the day after your. I ran. From your Amsterdam marathon.
Yeah, I ran a marathon. I ran a marathon in Amsterdam the day before. Flew in, and you picked me up from the airport, didn't you, Lloyd?
That's right.
Yeah, we had that shot. I couldn't walk, could I?
No.
I couldn't walk.
No.
And and that was my first ever CROWS gig. So
banging.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had short hair then, didn't you? Well, short hair.
Well, it was kind of like, yeah.
Got a photo of that, Ron?
Well, there we are. Look, there we are. The creator of the stone.
The Chris, that's the name of a movie, isn't it? The Creator of the Stone.
The creator of the stone. Have we got any?
I remember that gig though. Has anybody?
Go on.
Go on, Shane.
What?
Go on.
All right. That gig. I saw a video that someone put it up the other day.
Yeah.
Man, are we playing rock and roll dead fast? It was quick. I think we did like 45 minutes set in like 25 minutes.
There's a funny story with it because I've been looking through a lot of my drum videos to because I said I'm going to do this like drum cam and all of that. Fucking hell, they're all fast. They're all fast. I put one up. I'm like, right, that's all right. That is, and then all of a sudden, woof, off like a rocket. Like,
speeding up.
Yeah, it's a crowd. It is. I love it.
Don't matter, man. Does it? It don't matter.
No, it don't.
No, it does. It really does. Like, any questions before we go?
Yeah, come on in, folks. Anybody that's online?
I wrote a couple of questions down that people asked during the thing. Do you want me to go to them? Or?
Yes, please, Dave. That's great.
Come on.
Right. So this is what I saw. Did you see any bands that have disappointed you live?
Actually, yeah, that's a bit harsh because I don't want to kind of name and shame, but there was a band. Oh, you're in my head now, aren't you, Shane? We were there together, weren't we?
Yeah.
There was a band I was really excited to see. It was kind of nostalgia from my youth. Should I say it? It's one of them, or should I kind of like leave it?
No, it's
kind of, it's hard, isn't it? Like it's not fair on the artist because at the end of the day, it could have been sound issues. There could have been.
Right, let's leave that one then, shall we? Because it could.
Yeah, it's an hard question, that is, because we're nice boys and we wouldn't want to slag anybody off or anything like that. But nobody's really disappointed me where I feel. To me, if you get on a stage and you give it your best, this is the best way to explain that question, so I don't sound like an idiot. If you get on the stage, you give your best, you've done everything you can. There's a lot of things that can lay you down as a performer. The sound, just there's a lot of mechanics that go on in the background. But if you're giving it your best, then brilliant. If you turn up on that stage and you can't be bothered, then you're an arsehole. That's because there's so many people. No, you are an arsehole because there's so many bands, so many artists out there across the world who would kill to be on that stage, like, and to play to people, to play to anybody. So to go on there half-assed and can't be bothered, it's a discredit the music you've created, and a discredit the thousands or hundreds or even 10 people who've come to pay to watch you, like, you know. So is that a nice way to kind of sum that up? So
well, that kind of goes against goes with what I'm about to say. Now, I actually walked out of a gig for pretty much that reason. I'm probably like a small. I'm probably a little fucking part of a fucking huge percentage which have walked out from the same band. Puddle of Mud. The guy was absolutely pissed out of his head. He was in Swansea. I was really excited to go watch him. He started smoking on stage, calling the crowd a bunch of fucking. I'm not going to say that word, but yeah, it was just really gutting, man, to see that band which you grew up loving, and then to even watch all his own band members leave him on that stage on his own and just put the instruments down. I thought, yeah, you're done.
Yeah,
you don't realise the shot you've got there. So
was that the band? I sent a video over to the Crow.
yeah,
it was. Yeah.
Bad,
It was just absolutely ridiculous.
Hammered. See, I haven't got that story to tell because I didn't go there, but I seen that video you showed me the other night, and I just thought, fucking hell, man, have a break. Like, do you know what I mean?
I think I lasted 3 songs, and I was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. It's disappointing. Like I said, you know, you do this for whatever reason, but it should be because you want to create music and you want to get that buzz, you want to get that credit, that all that time you've put it on a stage, and you want to give people the best performance that you can. Under the circumstances. So yeah, I was waiting for you to jump in and say that. I've never seen anybody who's been half-assed like that. So my issues and like what me and Shane's seen that we shall not name yet. There was a lot of things in play, and we were just kind of disappointed because it didn't live up to what we seen when we were younger. Is that the best way to put it? Yeah, it was just something we were like, oh, you know, that's, you know, there's about 1 million bands probably.
I think sometimes like whether you go and watch a club band and you see them in a different environment, that can kind of go against that band. That's something I've come across before, but
yeah,
you know, like going to watch a band outdoors doesn't always come across as well as what it will in a 300 or 400 cap club. You know, so that's definitely something which I've come across as well. But everybody has off days.
Yeah.
Some more than most.
That's well put, that is like.
You know?
That is very well.
Music question. Oh, that's mad. You just highlighted that. That's exactly what I was just going to ask. Some bloke called Jonathan Hill. No idea.
Was that his old character? It is with his torch.
How are we, John? Hope you're well, brother.
Hope you're well, John.
Hi, John.
Are any of you guys, I think he's meant to say, have any of you guys had pro lessons? Or are you all self-taught?
I had a couple of lessons when I was a teenager as a bass player. And then I was like, nah, I can just do this myself. But I've really learned from other people, like we were talking about Chris from Funeral and Boosh, Rich, just playing with people like that. That's what I've learned. Like, so I wouldn't say like official lessons, but I think I've learned more. Maggie was another one. Yeah, learning bits, just playing with other guitarists, and were just amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I think that's kind of how I've picked everything up. It's just from being around, you guys for a start, you know, just everybody you surround yourself with, you can pick up, even if it's just 5% or 1% of what they know. It all adds to the bow, if you like.
Yeah. My dad has 7G on a guitar, and then I was off to the races then. But like you said, listen to everybody and just coming home. And I remember once in school, I wanted to play saxophone. Like your old man played saxophone, didn't he, Lloyd?
Yeah.
And
it's really hard. Yeah,
but I don't know why. I was a kid. I was really young. I was like, "Oh, do you want to play an instrument?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll give saxophone a go." And a teacher came into our school. He wasn't part of our school.
All right.
in specifically to do it. But our school couldn't afford a saxophone. So all they would do was clarinet. So, but it's the same principle, right? So I was like, I don't want to play clarinet. That's not cool. Saxophone is cooler. It's a clarinet. So I was like, okay, I'll do clarinet. So I started like dabbling on it. He was like showing me a few stuff. I took it home that night.
Yeah.
There's a famous song by I can't remember the guy's name, but it's a clarinet song, "Strangers by the Shore." "Stranger by the Shore." I think I got that right.
Right.
But I didn't know the song. My dad whistled it. My dad was like, "Oh, clarinet, so and so done that. Play this," and he whistled the tune. And then I kind of played it because I'm a bit lucky. I can pick things up with my ear and stuff. I always have done.
Yeah.
Went to school the next day, showed what I'd done. Of course, then he got really funny. He was like, "You're having private lessons. You shouldn't be having private lessons. You should have one teacher." I'm like, "I haven't had lessons. How have you playing Stranger on the Shore?" It's like my dad whistled the tune. I never heard the song. He just whistled the tune. So like, I ended up quitting. I think Rob Owen done it with me, and I ended up quitting after that because I was like, "Well, I can't even improvise or come up with tunes. I had to do it his way." And that immediately, when someone was telling me what I should and shouldn't do, I probably should have stuck at it. But I didn't like that. Music for me was just an expression and
freedom.
Yeah. So that I immediately was like that. I'm out. I don't want to be doing that. But I jumped on the piano, jumped on the key. I done a bit of violin. I done a bit of everything really. So it all stemmed from my dad, I guess. Those 3 chords started it all. How are you, Ron?
Yeah, I'd say mainly self-taught. My dad was a drummer, but he didn't really encourage me to play drums. When I used to kind of sit there in the pit and watch the shows and stuff, I couldn't wait to get on like the keyboards and stuff like that. Like during the matinees, they used to do double shows and stuff like that. So I used to dabble on the keyboards and stuff, and then if my dad had gone out for dinner or whatever, I'd tamper with his drums. He fucking hated anybody touching his drums. Don't touch my drums. Do you know what I mean? So
it's like Step Brothers.
Yeah, so I was blessed because I kind of get on the drum kit, whether it be in like the new theatre or the pavilion, and it'd be a nice big fucking theatre, the ambience, and then I could really hear the crack of the snare, but it was always Bonham-esque. But like, you know, Shane knows the story where I kind of chose, my dad told me to do geography for our options. I found myself sitting in a classroom. And then the next thing you know, the door knocked, it burst open. It was our music teacher, Peter Jones. What's he doing here? You get out. Next thing you know, I'm in the hallway. He's saying, you shouldn't be doing geography. You should be doing music. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Marched me down to the music room. And my first lesson was to open a load of boxes. Opened the boxes. There's a school drum kit. Set them up. And then the next thing you know, I was playing Shine, Jesus Shine. I think in the afternoon with Peter on the piano, like literally. And then we used to spend our break times, didn't we? Any break time after school, any moment that we had to practice, that was literally me learning how to play drums. So it's only really now, like I said to you boys, I'm having lessons down in Drum Depot in Cardiff, because obviously the level we're at now and starting to play arenas and everything like that, and we're recording with major artists, it's really hard because I'm a lot off feel. And, you know, like when I work with Chris Clancy, we'll talk about it if he comes on and everything. I don't really do drum talk, so I don't do the whole like 1, 2, 3, 4 and 6s over fucking 4s. I don't know all the thing. I do vocals. So if Shane was to sing a melody, that's how I would drum to his melody. If there's a guitar riff, I kind of do the backbeat to that, like, you know. So I'm not very educated when it comes. That's hence why all this shit is on the wall. Because like Brett has got me doing all the, I'll call it the maths of drumming, the important stuff. So if anybody out there is learning drums at the moment, learn your fucking rudiments, learn all the stuff you might think is boring, like I did, and I kind of went straight on to your AC/DCs and fucking Led Zeppelin. Learn all your craft, because it will come handy, like, you know. So yeah, I would say self-taught, like, you know.
Awesome, man.
Shoot. Hang on. That's an easy one. It's a quick one. Oh, Dave's gone. It's too late for him. That's an easy one. It's we've answered in many interviews. We were juggling loads of band names and stuff. I think we actually answered that last week or the week before. We kind of put loads of names in the pot, and then my dad went out in the garden one day, said those damn crows. Thought they'd make a cool song name, give it to the boys, and yeah, now it's the band name. So we like it. We like it loads.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. Well, I think that's it for this week, yeah?
Seems it, there.
Yeah.
Bloody tidy. I don't know if there's any last orders. I could go all night. But there's loads of people saying that. Apparently, one of the comments was Ronnie could talk to an empty fucking room. Too true. Too true, man. Yeah, well, thanks for tuning in. Yet again, episode 4. All the episodes now are on YouTube, so you can go back and listen to the first one. The second one we did with Mikey from Steelhouse. Third one with John Norman. This week was Ryan Richards, so go and check out Funeral for a Friend. Go and check out some of his artists from Future History Management. It's going to be an interesting time for Ryan, and like he said, he's going to be a busy boy rescheduling everything for later on in the year in 2021. Do you want to tell everybody who might not have got the handle of what they can do to interact with us on CrowCast, Shane? As in, like, YouTube and stuff?
Again, sorry, you paused then.
Sorry, but do you want
What did you say? You paused, sorry.
Do you want to give everybody the lowdown of how they can make the most out of CrowCast, viewing it through their TV and stuff?
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, a lot of people have been saying that we've been on their TVs, which is cool. Can you imagine our big head? Yeah, if you've got a smart TV, it's really simple. You just do it all via your phone. If you download the YouTube app, you've got a smart TV, click on YouTube, and then it's one touch on your telephone. Press it, and it automatically comes up on the big screen. And that way, you can still interact with us via your phone. So you can message and still interact with all your friends and the Crow family and stuff. But you see our big faces on the big screen, where they belong.
Yeah, and also go and check out our fan page. It's run by some absolutely amazing admins. We're going to do an episode coming up, where it's going to be you lot are going to be the guests, and we might get some admins on as well, so they can talk about their gig experiences, or so that's something cool that we got planned in the future. Hit us up on the socials, hit us up on the fan page. We do dip in and out of that.
If you've got any questions you want answering for next week, I mean, by all means, try and fire them across to the band Facebook or the fan page or personal. Just everyone's welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the competition, obviously, for next week, Darren Griffiths very kindly putting that amazing, look at that, check that out. So if you want to be in with a chance of that, that's for the NHS workers. Obviously, we got a list of names, which I called out earlier, that's in a bowl. If you want to be added to that list, you have to be an NHS worker, so drop us a line on the Facebook page, NHS worker, and your job title or what have you. And then you'll be in for next week's competition. I'm sure we'll have another competition for everybody as well, because we like giving stuff away.
I think we will. What we'll do is we'll keep, obviously, Darren kindly donated that to an NHS worker, so maybe we'll do.
I'd like to do something for like the care workers in general, man. I mean, I know it sounds like I'm biased, but my partner's a care worker for people with Alzheimer's. And my mum works in the community, so I'd like to make a point for that as well. So, they're out in the open as well, unfortunately. So,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
And it'd be cool to do the on the spot giveaways. Like I said, thank you so much to B for donating that. That's going to be shipped out, and maybe we can do something like that next week. We can come up with a question and then try and get somebody to get the answer by the end of the show. So that'd be pretty cool, that one.
Cool.
Last thing before we go, one last plug. Please go over to our web store. We don't charge for this. We don't want to charge for this. It's just a way of interacting with you guys, making sure everybody's cool. Go and buy something. We'll have more merch going up soon. And besides that, I think that is it, chaps.
Awesome.
Stay safe. Wash your fucking hands.
Peace out, is it?
And see you next week, all right?
Awesome.
Peace
Thanks.
out, everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.